Right. Good morning, y'all. What is going on? Today is Monday, May 11th, 2020. And I hope you all are having a wonderful day thus far. I honestly hope that you had an awesome weekend as well. You know, this past weekend was Mother's Day weekend. So I hope everyone enjoyed themselves, had a nice, good old funky time. If you are like me, whose mother is no longer in the physical realm, I still pray that you represented your moms well, and I know I represented my mama well. So I just hope again that whether your mother is still alive or she has transcended, I just pray that nonetheless you all had a good day on yesterday. And if you didn't, my prayers go out to you. I was actually praying for all the people that lost their moms, like myself. Because holidays hit differently when you lose a parent. So just know that I was praying for you all. I was praying for myself. And, again, I just hope everyone had a wonderful weekend, staying safe and practicing social distancing and all that good stuff. But this week, getting ready to get it popping because I am super excited about what's getting ready to happen. So today, what we want to do is we want to review multiplying binomials, and I want to introduce to you all factoring quadratic expressions. So it's kind of like we're going to go forward and then we're going to go backwards. So I will say this. If you are still not comfortable with multiplying binomials, hopefully factoring quadratic expressions can make it make sense because they're kind of like inverse operations, so to speak. So it's one of those things where if you're not comfortable with one concept, then hopefully the other concept will kind of make it make sense. All right. So I have one student joining me this morning, as always, Mr. McFadden. He has just been fabulous. And I am just thankful that he has just been consistent and sticking with the favorite nerdy educator, you know what I'm saying? And we just gonna make it happen. We gonna get it popping. All right. So mental Monday check-in. I try to do this. If not on Mondays, I try to do it, once a week. If not on Mondays, normally on Wednesdays, just to get that mid stride, just trying to see how everyone is doing mentally. I know again, this past weekend was Mother's Day weekend. And I know for some people, it may have been very, very hard. For other people, it just hits people differently. You know what I'm saying? So again, my prayers went out to, anybody that was dealing with, the loss of their mom and just hitting and feeling different for Mother's Day. And we have a ding. So I wanted to acknowledge the ding. Ding, meaning that we have somebody joining us. So good morning.
Good morning.
Is this Miss Tiffany?
It is.
Oh, all right. Hey, girl.
Good morning. Happy Mother's Day if there's any mothers on the line.
All right. Yeah. I mean, now let me say this. I've never birthed a child, okay, but I have raised plenty of children and I have a lot of godchildren and nieces and nephews. So I will take that. Thank you. And same to you as
You're
well.
welcome.
Same to you as well. Because I'm pretty
Thanks.
sure you may, have inspired and encouraged a young person along the way, whether it may have been, a niece, a nephew, a younger cousin. So I just want to say this, just because you've never birthed a child and never been pregnant, to the women out there, because men don't get pregnant, that doesn't mean that does not make you a mother. So I just want to put that out there. I raised plenty of children, and I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, so so today we are going to be discussing multiplying binomials. We're going to be reviewing that very, very quickly, just doing a couple of problems just to make sure we understand the concept of how multiplying binomials work. And remember, you can use any method that you want. You have the FOIL method, you have the box method, as well as the distributive property method. So remember, those three methods are the ways that you can multiply binomials. All right, so pick one and run with it. All right, and then today we're going to be introducing factoring quadratic expressions. All right, so this is what we are going to be doing. All right, and I'm sorry if you hear any noise in the background. Anyways, all right. So, now, Mr. McFadden, I have a question. Can you see the screen? I know I need to make the picture bigger, and I'm going to work on that. But can you see the screen share?
Yes.
Okay. Oh Lord Jesus, that's way too big. Okay. All right. All right. All right. So I think that's a pretty good size. So hopefully, you can see that. And what I'm going to do is this. Let me see. All right. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. We are going to work on these 4 problems just using the multiplying binomials. We can use any method you want. So Miss Tiffany, what I'll do is I will read out the problems because I think you might have called in. So what I'll do is I will read out the problems to you so that way you can write it down and still be kind of following us. Is that okay?
Yes, that's good.
All right. All right. Can I get down? Get on down. Oh, and real quick, kind of off the topic a little bit. Miss Tiffany, your video was wonderful. I just wanted to put that out there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
I left a comment and everything. And so I just wanted to let you know, I support people. So if y'all got a YouTube page that y'all want me to check out, hit me up. Let me know. I love to support, my students and any and everything that they're doing. So just let me know because I'm here for it. I ain't got nothing else to do. So I want to support you. All right. So
Thank
the
you
first
so much, Boo.
you welcome. You welcome, sugar. All right. So the first problem, Miss Tiffany, we have x minus 3, and that is multiplied by x minus 4. Okay, so let me know when you've written that down, Miss Tiffany. I don't want to go, I don't want to go ahead.
You said x minus 3 multiplied by x minus 4.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
All right. So, Mr. McFadden, I want you to tell me what are the first things that I'm going to be multiplying. Hey, let me go ahead and put my floating toolbar. Hey, floating toolbar.
The negative
We're going to
3
be
x.
multiplying. Oh, sorry.
Well, I mean, y'all go ahead.
Multiply the x by the x, which would be just x2.
Well, x squared, but I'll take it.
Yeah, x squared. My bad. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah, and remind me to tell y'all a funny story after this session. It's hilarious. All right. So, Mr. McFadden, I want you to tell me next what are the 2 things that you multiply next?
Mm,
And if you don't remember, you can say, Miss Hampton, I don't remember. It's all right.
I don't remember. Man.
All right, it's all right. So remember, we're going to start with our first term, which is the x and the x squared, and then we're going to go to the outer. Okay, so we have the x times negative 4, and that's going to give us negative 4x.
X. Okay.
All right, so what's next? So if we got the first, and then we got the outer, then what 2 terms will make the inner?
The negative 3 and the x.
Yes, sir. And that's going to give me negative 3x. Excellent job. And then I have my last term, be negative 3 times negative 4. And two negatives give me a what?
Positive.
Positive. So my answer would be positive.
7.
No, it's 12. You're not going
12
to add.
multiplying. Yeah.
That's right. We multiplying. All right. So now I just got to figure out where my like terms are. So Miss Tiffany, where are my like terms?
Negative 4x and negative 3x.
Yes. So as always, I'm just going to write out to the side here how it would look. Negative 4 minus negative 3. Now remember, when we are subtracting integers, so we're still dealing with these whole integers and things, we're going to use our keep, change rule. So now, Mr. McFadden, what is negative 4 plus negative 3?
-7.
Yep, that's it. Negative 7. So my final answer for that one would be x squared minus 7x plus 12. Now we're going to come back to these momentarily. So just remember to write these down because we're going to work these backwards in a few minutes. All right. So let me know when y'all are ready for me to do the next one. Now I'm going to go ahead and go across. So this would technically be number 6, but I'm going to call it number 2.
I'm ready.
Oop. No, you really thing? Okay. All right. All right. So that's 2. That's going to be 3. And this one, oh, dang. Okay. Going to be 4. All right. So number 2 says, in parentheses, 2x minus 3 and that's going to be multiplied by 5x minus 5. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to, multiply these things. So I want you to tell me what would I multiply first?
2x by 5x, which would be 10x squared.
Woo! That thing big. But don't be intimidated by the numbers. I'm just being silly. All right. So what would be next? So I got my first terms out the way. What would be next?
2x multiplied by negative 5.
Yep. And that gives me a
negative 10x.
Yep. And what's next? Let me move this. Okay.
Negative 3 times negative 5x, which would be negative 15x. And then negative 3 and negative 5, which would be a positive 15.
All right.
That's why I don't be wanting to talk, because I be just going, let me slow down. Let me let y'all do it.
Lord, how much? Goodness gracious. I think I heard another ding. I don't know, but I think I heard another ding. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Hampton.
Good morning, Miss Philomena. How are you?
I'm good. Are you?
Yes, I am fine, thank you. Happy belated Mother's Day to you.
Happy Mother's Day too.
Thank you so very much. So Miss Philomena, we are reviewing how to multiply binomials, and today we are going to be factoring quadratic expressions. So we're going forward, and then we're going to work these backwards. That's what we're doing. All right. So just want to put that out there. All right. So Miss Tiffany, you, I mean, you were doing good. Don't keep going. All right. So these are my
I
light.
have to remember.
Huh?
I was just gonna say I have to remember that we recorded, and that other people might not work as fast as me.
Well, and I can understand that. So yeah, but remember, this is we're all family here. You all are the three amigos, so we're helpers to one another. So let me ask you this: my like terms will be 10 minus 15, right?
I thought it was -10.
Well, yeah, -10. I'm sorry, -10 minus 15. That would be my like terms, right?
Right.
All right. So
Then we have
now,
to do the keep, change.
yep, that's it. So keep, change, change. Uh-oh. Let me move that out the way. So when I do that, my
So
final
when we're
answer.
doing the change,
Go ahead, Miss Tiffany. What's your question?
when we're doing the change, okay, so we're gonna have to keep the -10x. We're gonna
Uh-huh.
change the minus sign to a plus sign, and so that 15 is gonna be a positive x or still a negative x.
No, it's going to be a -15 because when we say this problem at the top, we are saying -10 minus 15. So 15 is positive. So because 15 is positive, we're going to change that to a negative, if that makes sense. So
Okay,
but we're
and
still,
that's gonna be a positive 25x.
no, not a positive 25x. That's going to be a negative 25x because we're adding two negative numbers together.
Right. Okay.
So
Right.
that's going to be minus 25x plus 15. All right. So this is my final answer. And all right. All right. So this is what I can't even see what time it is, Lord. Okay. So this is what I want to do now. And y'all can go ahead and just put yourselves on mute right now, because what I want to do is the next part of all of this, we're going to take these two problems right here, and we are going to work them backwards. So I'm going to explain to you what all of that means. Okay. So when we are multiplying binomials, we are multiplying like terms and unlike terms. So that's what we're doing. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be factoring quadratic expressions. Okay, because these right here, where's my cursor, Lord? Okay. This is a quadratic expression. The reason why it's called a quadratic expression is because it's not equal to anything. So remember, I think way, way, way back in time, when we discussed the difference between an expression and an equation. So remember, expressions are just that. They're there. Okay. You have algebraic expressions, you have quadratic expressions. I'm pretty sure you may have cubic expressions, but don't worry about none of that. Okay. Just know that expressions are not equal to anything. Whereas equations, when we get into quadratic equations, that means we're going to be solving for something. So remember, equations are basically things you solve. Expressions are things that you simply kind of break down. Okay, so that's the best way for me to explain the difference between an expression and an equation. All right. So what I'm gonna do, if I can find my cursor. All right. Oh, well, let me get a new page, and I am going to color this background. You know, your favorite nerdy educator get a little bit of a certification, child, and she's just all over the place. But that's good. Okay, just showing off my skills. All right. So we're gonna pick this nice, soft, background color here. Just making it real nice. Um, that's just what we do. And I am going to, all right, put that on the full screen so that way you all can see that. All right. So what I want to do is I want to work x squared minus 7x plus 12. I'm going to write that. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and type all this stuff. So that way y'all can see. All right. So the name of this is factoring quadratic expression. Now, as I've always said, in math, there's layers to everything. So once you know how to factor quadratic expressions, quadratic equations are going to be easy. That I can promise you. Okay. So there are some rules and there are some steps that you have to follow when you are factoring quadratic expressions. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to take, when I multiplied x times negative 3 times x minus 4, I'm going to take that answer and we're going to work it backwards. So I'm going to type out some rules, and so make sure that you are following along. If you have any questions, unmute yourself and feel free to ask. All right. So we have x squared. All right. And that's going to be minus, all right, let me space that out because I ain't look right. Minus 7x. I'm going to put plus. All right. So that's my answer. But when we factor quadratic expressions, we want to break it down and we want to take it back to its simplest form. So think of it kind of like reducing a fraction, but it's not a fraction, it's a expression. All right. So this is step one. This is what you're going to have to do. I'm going to write it over here. Trying to make sure I have enough room here. All right. So step one, you're going to find the factors. Oh, I already see what's getting ready to happen. Never mind. I can't do that. So let me write this here. Okay. So step one, find the factors of the third term. Now we're going to talk about terms in a moment. All right. All right. So remember in one of those playback videos I did when I talked about monomials, binomials, and trinomials and all of that fun stuff. Well, this would be considered a trinomial. Um, Trinomial. It is a trinomial because it has 3 terms. All right. So my first term would be the x squared. Okay. My second, well, let me do this. I'm running out of room because this is so big. Okay. My second term would be my negative 7x. Don't have to be that big. All right. And my third term, what is that, Miss Hampton? Third term would be my positive 12. I'm just going to put 12 right there. So as you can see, I broke down this trinomial based on the term. Okay, so my first term will always be represented by x squared. That's going to be very important. Oops. I do that. What? Okay. All right. Trying to underline it. That's what I was trying to do. All right. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to make it to where y'all it can be easily seen, but I'll just leave it alone. Oh, now I want to do it anyway. All right. So x squared would be my first term. My second term is going to be in the middle, which is represented by the negative 7x. Okay. And my third term is going to be positive 12. Now remember, trinomials all have unlike terms. And we talked about you cannot add nor subtract unlike terms. So do not try to say negative 7x to the third. Like you can't add, you cannot subtract these two things. You cannot add these two things. So you cannot solve this because they are all unlike terms. So I hope that makes sense. Okay. So with that being said, you are going to find the factors of the third term. Okay, that's going to play a very important part in what we're getting ready to do. So my third term is 12. Okay, so let me write that third term, and that's going to be equal to 12. So you also have to remember what factors are. This one I'm going to underline. All right. So, in case you forgot what a factor was, a factor is a number that you multiply together, or numbers that you multiply together. So, when we say find the factors, we're going to find the two numbers that when we multiply them together, that is going to give us the third term, which is 12. So, again, I'm just breaking it down. You do not have to do it in this way unless you know to get familiar with the steps, and then once you know it, you just know it. Okay, but I'm just breaking everything down. Okay, so our factors of 12 are as follows. I'm going to start with 1 times 12. Okay, then I'm going to go to 2 times 6, not 5, 6, and then 3 times 4. Okay. So you do not have to write 4 times 3, 6 times 2. Like you don't have to write that. These are all the numbers that if I multiply them together would give me 12. Okay. So that's very important. Now, okay, fine. Step 2. Really? All right. So step 2 will be this. Now, step 2 is going to be very important because you have to know your integers. So factoring quadratic expressions and equations, you got to be on point with those integers. And I'm going to prove that to you right now. With step 2, you're going to take those same factors or numbers from step 1 and you are going to add them. All right. So it says you're going to take those factors from step 1 and you're going to find the sum of the second term. Running low on room here. Now my second term is -7. So when we talk about terms, we're only talking about the numbers. Okay, so we want to keep that in mind. So my second term and what I'm going to be dealing with here is -7. Now, we have a problem. And it's a fixable problem, but I want to show you why integers are so important. My second term is a negative number, is -7. But all of my numbers for the first step are all positive. Remember, when you are adding integers, adding negative numbers, you have to have two negative numbers to make a negative sum. Okay, so if I add -1 plus -2, that should give me -3. The problem is my third factor is positive and my second term is negative. So this is what you're going to have to do. I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to type this. Oh, really? Okay. All right, fine. Then you don't want to cooperate. Okay. You're going to change these numbers into negative numbers. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just simply change these positive numbers to negative numbers. So I'm going to leave this up here. And so that way you can see why I did that. We're going to, again, change these numbers into negatives. Because when we multiply negative numbers, a negative times a negative equals a positive. Okay, so again, that's the reason why it's very important that you have a strong foundation on integers, how to add them, subtract them, multiply them, and divide them. Because factoring quadratic expressions, they are simply just reinforcing integers. That's really what this is all about, seriously. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite. I'm going to skip. So now I'm going to say -1 times -12. Then I'm going to say -2 times -6. Then I'm going to say -3 times a -4. Okay. So up here, remember, I started off with positive factors. Okay, because my third term was positive. But because my second term was negative, I had to go back and change those change those positive numbers to negative ones. Okay, so I just want to make sure that we understand how that works. And of course, do not worry. We are going to spend the entire week on this. This is not a one-day thing. So if you are watching this playback, just know that we're going to be spending a whole week on this, okay? Just want to let you know. All right. So now I'm going to come back down here, and now I can follow this second rule here. I'm going to take these numbers, do a little, all right, no, all right, all right. And instead of me multiplying now, I'm going to add them. All right. So now the goal is for me to see if I can get either of these numbers, either of these numbers to equal my middle term. So when I add them, that's going to give me a negative 13. I don't want that. Okay. This is going to give me a negative 8. I don't want that. This is going to give me what I want because a negative 3 plus a negative 4 gives me that negative 7 that I'm looking for. Okay. All right. So this is my answer. What I'm going to do is I am going to bold these numbers. Okay. So these are the numbers that I'm going to be using as a part of my factoring. All right. All right. Hey, here we go. All right. All right. And then step 3, which is the easiest step of them all. Step 3. Factor the first term. So what we're going to do with factoring the first term, and remember, our first term was x squared. All right. So remember, when we factor things, it's sort of kind of like division in a sense, simply because when we're factoring, we're breaking things down. Okay. So how we're going to factor this first term of x squared is simply through division. So we have x squared divided by x. Okay. So I wish I could write this out so it could make sense, but I'm going to try my best to type it out here. Okay. All right. So I have x squared. Okay. Okay. To x multiplied by x. Because remember, when we multiply like terms, so again, this is just reinforcing the like terms. When we multiply our like terms, when I multiply x times x, we multiply the numbers, but we add the coefficients. So remember, it's an invincible 1 up there. I didn't write it, but it's up there. And 1 plus 1 gives me this 2. So that's where we came up with the x squared in the first place. But because I'm going the opposite direction, I'm breaking it down. I am simply saying x is multiplied by x. Okay. So these are the rules for factoring quadratic expressions. And I'm pretty sure some of you all that may be watching this playback, or even some of you all right now, looking at me like I owe y'all child support. Now remember, we are going to be talking about this all week long. So if you did not understand this concept the first time, it is okay. We're going to be spending a lot of time on this, okay? Because I know for a fact that they told me, when I say they, I mean former students, there's a lot of these on your math GED exam. So I'm just only trying to pinpoint what was told to me because I've never seen a real math GED exam. There'll be a conflict of interest. Can't have that. Okay, so again, these are the steps that you would take in order for you to factor this trinomial. Okay, so these are the steps. You cannot go wrong with these steps. All right. All right. So what I want to do now is I just want to take a quick breather and just to see how everyone is feeling about factoring quadratic expressions. So I will start with Miss Philomena. Miss Philomena, if you're still with us, how are you feeling about factoring quadratic expressions? I don't know if she's still with us or not, but hopefully she is. Um, but if not, that's okay. Again, technology be all over the place, so I can understand. Okay, so Miss Tiffany, if you're still with me, how do you feel about factoring quadratic expressions?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, so I just need to be able to look at it. I mean, I heard everything, but I just need to be able to watch the playback, and then I'll be able to let you know tomorrow.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Totally fine. And hopefully I can have this playback uploaded by 12:30. Remember, these uploading these things is a process. So just give me some time and I promise you it's gonna be uploaded today. All right. Mr. McFadden, how do you feel about factoring quadratic expressions?
Um, one day at a time. We go get it. we
you,
go
you
get
know
it.
what? Know what, Mr. McFadden, I promise you, I'm gonna get you a T-shirt that say "one day at a time." I promise you.
Yeah, yeah.
I, that's real. Just let me know your size, and I'm gonna get that for you. Because these, but no, seriously, these types of concepts take time. They really, really do. Rome wasn't built in a day. Okay, so that's the reason why I really want to make sure that we stay on this particular situation for as long as we need to. Okay, I mean we ain't got nothing but time anyway. So just like I said, there's no rush today. We're just going to be going over some problems and again just making sure that we have the foundational things down pat because that's very important to me. Okay, so for anybody again that's watching this playback, these are the rules for factoring quadratic expressions. We have not talked about quadratic equations yet, but I can guarantee you, once you understand how expressions work, equations are going to be easy. Because at that point, you're just taking the expression and you're just solving for something. And all quadratic equations equal to zero. They are all equal to zero. When we get to my favorite thing in the world, other than slope, which is quadratic formula, y'all, oh my God, we get to quadratic formula, then you're going to understand why I said quadratic equations, all of them must equal zero. There's a reason for it. But as Mr. McFadden always says, we're going to take this one day at a time. We're going to take this step by step and piece by piece. We're going to work on, problems, just step by step, piece by piece, because I really want to make sure that we are confident in doing the work, which I know we are, and I know we're getting there, and that's what I want. So um, that's really where I'm at with this whole thing. So this is what I'm going to do. I am going to email not any of this, but I'm going to email another worksheet with multiplying binomials because that's going to be the key in factoring quadratic expressions. So I will be sure to email you all another sheet so that way you can have some more practice with this. And tomorrow, what we'll do, we we will definitely continue on with factoring quadratic expressions. So we're still going to, work along with some other stuff, but just know that we're going to be focused on this probably for the next week and a half, if 2 weeks, if possible, if we need to. Okay. So no worries. Miss Hampton, your favorite nerdy educator is going to take care of you. Don't I take care of y'all?
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, I mean, and I ain't
Yes,
paying y'all
I
to
have
say
a
that.
question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, our what's going to be our last day, or are we just going to keep working through until whenever?
That's a very good question. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and stop the screen share here because that's the question that y'all kind of need to know. Do 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 do. Okay. Okay, so Miss Philomena is I think she was having some technical difficulty. So hopefully, I can get back in contact with her and have her just watch the playback video. As far as when our last day is, so I will say this. Adult ed is year round, right? Um, July 1st to June 30th. That's when we operate. Now, as far as our last day for class, um, normally the last day for class normally would have been the day of graduation, which I believe would have been May 28th, right? But because of Auntie Rona and Uncle Virus acting a plum fool, all of that has stopped. Okay. So I believe what's going to happen, and I'm not quite sure, but I will get clarification. But what may happen is um, classes will still be going until June. Um, and so that way, but hopefully by that time, some testing centers will have been opened. And so you all can go ahead and take your test and do what y'all got to do. Um, Again, I've been hearing that our school is a testing site. I'm not quite sure if our school has been selected to be, one of the testing centers that will open, but we are one of the testing centers, if that makes any sense. So I will be sure to get clarification about that on tomorrow, and I'll let you all know that on Wednesday. So please, someone send me a text and remind me of that because my mind be all over the place. And I want to make sure that I ask that question as far as when is our official last day for the students and all of that good stuff. So I'll be sure to follow up with you on that, Miss Tiffany, on Wednesday. All right. So, any questions for me? Because I know this was a lot to take
I
in
don't have
today.
any questions.
Huh?
I said I
Oh,
don't have any questions.
okay. Mr. McFadden, you have any questions?
Not at the moment.
Oh, okay. So again, I really appreciate y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and just end this session so that y'all can get the playback video so you can all watch it again and take your notes and all that good stuff. But I will be sending you all another sheet. Is that Miss Philomena?
Yeah, Miss Compton.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you for joining us again. What I'm going to do is I am going to upload the video so that way you can watch it on the YouTube channel. Um,
Okay.
and so that way you can take your notes and just have that. And for tomorrow, we're going to pick up and continue with the lesson. Okay.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Miss Philomena, you all will definitely get your credit for today, and I am going to go ahead and end this session. But let me say this very quickly. My English class, right? How about I talk and did not? I recorded it, but I didn't share no screens. So I kind of had to do a very quick video for my English class this morning. So y'all pray my strength in the Lord, please. Okay. I don't know. I was just going through it this morning. I don't know. But that was kind of funny. So nonetheless, but they got their work. Y'all got y'all's. I'm going to be sure to get that to you all right away. If you have any questions between now and tomorrow, please feel free to reach out to me. And if you are watching the playback, I'll be sure to leave a link for you in the comment section, the pinned comment section, so that way you can get a practice worksheet as well. So until tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, you're only a day away. Thank God. All right. So with that being said, I love you guys. Continue to stay safe, and I will see y'all on tomorrow. Have a good rest of the Monday and have a wonderful and blessed week. Oh, I gotta do my sign off. Bye.